我今年44岁，没结婚。男人不结婚。
I am 44 years old this year and not married. The fact that men are not getting married is going to become a mainstream social phenomenon. One of the reasons is that the cost of marriage is simply too high. First of all, the issue of housing is right in front of us. Let's not talk about the house prices in big cities. Take third or fourth tier cities like ours, for example. We don't even pursue the best neighborhoods. In an ordinary neighborhood, it costs 5,000 yuan per square meter. Let's not buy a large house. We won't even go for a 120 square meter house. We'll just consider a 90 square meter house. After subtracting the shared areas, the actual living space might only be around 70 square meters. The total price of the house is 450,000 yuan, and with property taxes, the cost is nearly 470,000 yuan. After getting the house, you still need to decorate it. Soft furnishings, hard furnishings, appliances, everything costs money. Let's calculate the cost at 800 to 1,000 yuan per square meter. The renovation and furnishing will cost at least another 70,000 yuan. Altogether, it's close to 540,000 yuan. Next, let's talk about the car. Nowadays, car prices are relatively cheap. For 100,000 yuan, you can get a decent car for daily use. This brings the total to 640,000 yuan. Then there's the matter of the bride price. Is 100,000 yuan too much to ask? By now, the total cost has risen to 740,000 yuan. Let's also factor in the 3 golds. A gold bracelet weighing 40 grams, a gold necklace weighing 10 grams, and a gold ring weighing 5 grams, for a total of 55 grams. The current market price is about 550 yuan per gram, so the total is 30,250 yuan. Let's round it off to about 30,000 yuan. This brings the total cost to 770,000 yuan. Besides this, women also expect men to buy them a diamond ring. We don't even need a big one, just a 10,000 yuan ring will do. So, the total cost now reaches 780,000 yuan. The cost of the wedding day itself cannot be overlooked, including the wedding company, the master of ceremonies, and the photographer's fees. Add in the money for changing titles and giving lucky money, and you have to prepare at least 30,000 yuan. That brings the total cost to 810,000 yuan. Looking at reality, how many men can save up 810,000 yuan to get married? Even if you manage to come up with that 810,000 yuan, after marriage, the couple will still have to think about children. Raising a child from kindergarten to college graduation will cost at least 600,000 yuan. Without this 600,000 yuan, your child may feel inferior when comparing themselves to their classmates. Men, are you still willing to get married so easily?
只要我不结婚，我的生活不知道有多快乐。
As long as I choose not to get married, my life is incredibly carefree. I can eat whatever I want, and as long as I am full, there's no need to worry about the whole family going hungry. No more need to scrimp and save just to collect the bride price, living a tight and frugal life. Since I decided to lie flat and live the life I want, I make sure every meal is satisfying. Every drink is to my heart's content, and I never wrong myself. Now, I've even started enjoying a few drinks. Every time after a busy day of work, I pour myself a glass of wine, relax, and ease my fatigue. That feeling of relaxation immediately flows over me. Compared to the past, when I was constantly worried and anxious about not finding a wife, I feel much more at ease now. What I want to say is, once a person figures things out and lets go of the burdens in their heart, the pressure disappears too. Many people often ask me, why not get married? It's not that I don't want to, but my current conditions simply don't allow it. This is the reality. No matter how much I long for it in my heart, I am powerless to change the situation. So instead of constantly struggling and being conflicted, it's better to reconcile with myself. Lay down all the burdens, face it calmly, and happily live each day. After all, life is short, and the most important thing is one's own happiness and joy. Some people say, what will you do when you grow old if you don't get married? Honestly, I'm not too worried about that. The future is something to deal with later. If worst comes to worst, isn't a nursing home just fine? I truly don't believe that when I'm in my 70s or 80s, there will be absolutely no one around me. The rest is up to fate. What do you think?
没有结婚的人生有多爽？我今年37岁，没结婚。
How comfortable can life be when you are unmarried? I am 37 years old this year, still single, and living alone in Qingdao. I rent a small apartment of just over 10 square meters. As part of the delivery rider workforce, my life is quite carefree and free. Because my work hours are flexible, I can sleep in every day and wake up naturally. There's no busy 9-to-5 schedule, and my pace of life is relaxed and pleasant. Today, I suddenly craved leek pancakes, so I spent 5 yuan to buy some leeks and added a bit of dried shrimp that I brought from my hometown. Simple yet delicious. There's no cutthroat office politics in my life, and I live worry-free. Some people might say that because I don't have a steady job, I'm just lying flat, being lazy and unmotivated. But that's not the case. Although I only make around 80 yuan a day, my life is still pretty good. Since I haven't gotten married, I don't need to save up for a bride price, nor do I have the burden of a car loan or mortgage. I don't need to support a family, so my living costs are much lower. Financially, I feel very relaxed. I can decide what to eat based on my mood every day without having to accommodate anyone else's preferences or try to please anyone. For me, a regular job can barely cover basic living expenses, but even without a steady job, I can still eat well. After all, didn't we come into this world to enjoy life? Why force yourself to live such a hard life? In reality, both marriage and being single have their pros and cons. Married people may enjoy the warmth of a home with a wife, kids, and a cozy bed, but unmarried people can live freely and unrestrained. As long as you learn to lower your desires, spend more when you have money, and spend less when you don't, your sense of happiness will increase. Today's leek pancakes were absolutely delicious, and I'm completely satisfied, enjoying this moment of leisure. Brothers, this kind of life is really not bad.
你敢听真话吗？带你看清现实。婚姻的真相是啥呢？
Do you dare to hear the truth? Let's uncover the true veil of marriage and see what its essence really is. Do you think marriage is for love? Don't be naive. The truth about marriage is that it actually provides stable labor for society's development. It's not for so-called love. The marriage law has never stipulated that marriage must be based on love. Many people just mistakenly believe that marriage and love are closely related. In fact, the real value of marriage lies in the rational integration of resources. Whether you marry the wrong person or don't get married at all, the key factor isn't here. The core has always been an economic issue. If you really desire to get married, you don't necessarily have to wait for so-called true love. Stepping into marriage with someone you find somewhat suitable is also a good option. If you insist on waiting for real love, then you'll need to be psychologically strong enough and prepare yourself for a lifetime of singleness, because the odds of love happening are pathetically low. Most of the time, what you think is love is just a romantic play meticulously crafted by the other party to obtain something from you. So when does someone love you the most? The answer is, when you don't love them that much. Human nature is sometimes really ironic. Many women love men who only want to play with them, while they choose to play with the men who truly love them. Love, in essence, is cruel and ruthless. If a man is over 30 and still talks about love all the time, then he's basically a lost cause. The reason you feel hurt in relationships is not because you lack charm, but because you lack money. Do wealthy people, like the rich, get hurt by love? Of course not. Remember this, smart people don't easily fall into the trap of love. Only foolish people get trapped by emotions.
没有能力结婚的男人选择单身其实更好。
Some men, when they are not yet capable of getting married, may find that staying single is actually a wiser choice. Many men clearly know they don't have the ability to support a family, and their parents can't help them either, yet they are still obsessed with the idea of getting married. Even their parents keep urging them to do so. It makes me wonder, what is going on in their parents' minds? And what are they themselves thinking? Without a stable job, with meager income, and lacking financial support, why are they still so fixated on marriage? After getting married, you will face the responsibilities of family and children. But what will you use to keep the family running? For those men without property, without savings, and with low income, the most important thing is to have a clear understanding of themselves. The The reality is that you're just an ordinary person, and nowadays, more and more people are staying single. If you don't have the ability to support a family, you can totally choose to live a single life. Don't always have marriage on your mind, because it's not right for you. It's like someone with a small income shouldn't be dreaming of buying a Mercedes or BMW. Life isn't only complete if you get married and have children. If you have the ability to get married and support a family, then marriage is a good thing. But if you don't have that ability, you don't have to force yourself. If you lack the ability to support a family, it will naturally be hard to attract women. Even if you lower your standards and barely manage to borrow money to get married, there's no guarantee that any woman would want to be with you. In this situation, if you still insist on getting married, the result can only be trapping yourself in a difficult situation. It's crucial to recognize reality and see how much ability you actually have. Do as much as you are capable of. Wanting to get married is a good thing, but the prerequisite is having the ability to marry. If it's just in your head and you don't have the real ability, it's nothing but a fantasy. Dreams may be beautiful, but reality is often brutally harsh, so don't waste your time on things that don't make sense. If you get married recklessly, or compromise just to get married, you may eventually find that life becomes unsustainable, and it turns out that single life was much more comfortable. If you can really rise to success after getting married, then why didn't you have this ability when you were single? When you're single, you can give everything without hesitation, but once you're married, with a family, wife, and children, the burdens of life will drag you down, making it hard to fully commit to your career. So, if you haven't found success or a way to get rich while single, things will only get harder after marriage. Therefore, it's important to face reality. I recognized a long time ago that my abilities are limited, so I live an ordinary life. I don't work overtime, don't work night shifts, and don't take on jobs that harm my health. Now, I live a carefree life, enjoying life's pleasures. I have no mortgage, no car loan, no outside debts, and no complicated social obligations. Life is extremely easy and comfortable. Many people envy my lifestyle and often ask me why I'm so clear-headed. My answer is simple: because I've never done anything to harm myself, and I've never taken unnecessary risks. If you don't have the ability to support a family, you can totally choose to live a single life. Sometimes, the happiness of single life can be far greater than what marriage can bring.
很多人以为一个男人不结婚打光棍会很可怜。
Many people believe that if a man doesn't get married and stays single until old age, he will live a miserable life and won't know how to cope in his later years. But I can only say that this idea is already outdated. Nowadays, if a man chooses not to get married, a single life will actually be very relaxed and enjoyable. First, he no longer needs to work hard for a living, nor does he have to work overtime and stay up late. Life can be more comfortable and leisurely. Second, he can spend the money he earns entirely on himself, with no worries about running out of money. Whether at work or at home, he can do as he pleases. If he wants to work, he works. If he doesn't, he can rest at home. Life is completely free and easy. Furthermore, the tens of thousands of yuan saved by not getting married can be fully used to enjoy life. Without the burden of a mortgage or car loan, he can travel whenever he wants and wake up naturally every day, without breaking his rhythm for anyone. In addition, not getting married also avoids the risk of being deceived into marriage. Nowadays, the divorce rate in marriages is as high as 50%, but none of this has anything to do with single men. Even if on the surface there is a wife after marriage, in reality, he may have to work hard for a lifetime. Having children is no longer a guarantee either. In the past, people used to say, raise children to provide for old age. Now it has become provide for old age to guard against children. Having children has become a new burden instead. For those men who choose not to date or get married, the financial pressure of life almost doesn't exist. Even if the monthly income is only 3,000 or 5,000 yuan, it's more than enough to spend. Without the burden of a family, life is relaxed and free. Although they may not be wealthy in life, they are at least free and unrestrained, without having to worry about the trivial matters of marriage. At the end of life, what difference does it make whether you get married or not? Since that's the case, why not choose to live a carefree and transparent life? Instead of being bound by marriage, it's better to enjoy the present and live this life freely and comfortably.
Nowadays, more and more men are unwilling to get married and seem to collectively choose the lying flat lifestyle. So, what is the reason behind this? Many people might think that the reason is nothing more than the high bride price, the high standards of girls nowadays, or that girls today are too demanding, too vain, and that dating has become very exhausting. These are indeed real problems, and they seem difficult to change. But why are some people still able to get married? Do they not face these issues? In my opinion, there are two main reasons. The first reason is that many men nowadays have lost interest in women. If it weren't for the purpose of carrying on the family line, or because women have reproductive value, these men might not even care to engage with women. Normally, as advanced animals, humans have the instinct to seek a mate and reproduce as they mature. So, why have many people lost this instinct and idea? It's largely because the temptations today are too great. Men find that they have many more interesting things to do, far more appealing than finding a partner. For example, they can drink and chat with friends, talking about everything under the sun. They can immerse themselves in playing games. Or they can watch beautiful women dancing on their phones. And with a small gift, the women will affectionately call them baby or big brother. This makes them feel lost in the flattery, feeling extremely happy and carefree. These men don't have to take on family responsibilities. There's no wife controlling them, and they can spend their money freely. Life appears very free and full of pleasure. Day after day, this kind of lifestyle makes them feel like they are truly enjoying themselves. Moreover, the most important reason is that many men have been hurt during their growth process. Nowadays, the cost for a man to date is extremely high, while for women, it's almost zero. If a man encounters a slow-to-warm-up woman, after dating for a year or more without results, it becomes too exhausting. After going through this once or twice, a man's heart grows tired. These wounds were never healed. As a result, they find it very difficult to find a suitable partner later on, eventually losing the motivation to try and simply lie flat, feeling that being alone isn't so bad. But deep down, they still long for intimate relationships. However, their experiences with others always end in failure. Some men in intimate relationships only know how to give and please their partner, and after a long time, they feel utterly exhausted. On the other hand, a significant number of women only know how to take and don't truly know how to love others. This leads to many men no longer trusting women, constantly doubting them and testing them. Behind these behaviors lies the fact that men's hearts have been hurt. They lack strength, love, and a sense of security. Their inner wounds haven't been healed, and they've lost the best version of themselves. So, everyone should ask themselves, do you love others and do others love you? This is the biggest issue. If men have been hurt by women again and again, can they still have any fantasies about love? Do you agree with my opinion? Feel free to leave your comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to our channel. Your support means a lot to us, and we will continue to bring you better content. Thanks again for watching, and see you next time.